Now, I want to go back to Patricia Staunton, who chairs the committee within Galway Chamber, indeed, and she's also a senior partner in Cushman Wakefield Auctioneers. So she knows her stuff when it comes to the availability of living accommodation. Otherwise, we started this conversation yesterday, but I had to leave it because of the quality of the line. So I'm going to close it out now. Though, Patricia, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us again on the programme.
Thank you.
And the key message yesterday that you were giving to us?
I suppose the key message I was given, Keith, in terms, if we look at the statistical information first, with a growing population targeted to exceed 120,000 for Galway City in 10 years' time, and the shortfall of housing accommodation that's currently being delivered to the market, year to date for the first half, 408 units have been completed dwellings. And from our statistical research, it would appear that about 2,100 units are needed to be delivered to the market to ensure we have an equilibrium, should I say, in terms of supply and demand.
So
and what we're trying...
There's quite a divide there. So that what you're asking people to do is to take this seriously, that the demand will be there, and rather than forcing people out of the city and into the county, to have housing stock available.
Absolutely, and it is looking to the future, but it's also here today. We know there's a whole housing shortage. You know, it's been discussed on our airways throughout the country, but we really genuinely have the need to be able to deliver, I suppose, flexible housing, to be able to deliver affordable housing, and that's really one of our main goals in the Living Committee. There's that gap between the viability of building a dwelling and then the affordable level of what someone can afford to, the end user can afford to pay for it. And there's a kind of a market practice that 35% of your net income should be targeted towards your housing provision. And that's the kind of conversation we're trying to analyse currently in the committee. And then when we've got to a stage where we have clear facts and robust facts, we want to be able to present to stakeholders and to the general public to see, you know, how we can bridge the affordability and the delivery gap.
I know it's an obsession, we say here in Ireland, with owning the property. But again, from the figures you're talking about there and the percentage of your net salary, do you think that you will see a huge upsurge when it comes to people just accepting to rent?
I think it's a cultural shift that we're going to have to recalibrate. And it's probably something that's already started to happen over the last couple of years. But we need to look at European examples, and, you know, renting accommodation on the mainland Europe is a given, or it's more normal than owning here. And I think we're just really going to have to adopt that model to be able to afford people the ability to have a life home as such. And one of the, I suppose, cities that has been earmarked, or I suppose acknowledged as being able to produce that, is Vienna. And the Vienna housing model, and their, I suppose, government body own about 22,000 housing units throughout the city, of which their residents rent at control levels.
Wow. So the Living Committee within the Chamber is working away. When can we see the first reports coming out of that?
Well, we have a draft that we hope to be in a position to present to our council members, if not this Tuesday at the next Chamber meeting, possibly the month after. What we want to ensure when we are presenting, we have our facts robust. We don't want to be, creating a conversation that has gaps in it. So what we're just currently trying to engage is with the construction industry on the exact cost of a 2-bed, and factoring in all government levies associated with that, and in turn then land costs, so we can give examples for our Galway market. So I would think in the next 4 to 6 weeks, Keith, we'd be at a stage where we can start the conversation and then invite key stakeholders within the city who have land banks to discuss how we can assist in the delivery of that affordable piece.
All right, well, we will come back to it then as well. But Patricia Staunton, thank you for joining us and finishing out that piece with us from Cushman Wakefield, but also the chair of the Living Committee within Galway Chamber. And our thanks to her for taking our call again today. God bless her.